Take your time.
spirit, and like, I know, and you, like, I really tried to listen to what you had to say, and I didn't understand a lot of what you said. And that's what I mean with the understanding. It's really, really important. Like, I have seen police, like, harass, like, 15-year-olds, and when it comes to poor, like, the same thing as with Lynn's, like, and I love all what you guys say, you know, because money isn't everything. Money is an illusion anyway. Money enslaves humanity. I mean, money, some people are you know, born with a little bit more and they have that privilege and they can, you know, go to school and whatever. Like, yeah, I could never go to a university like this, you know. I tried to go to college and I had 3 kids in daycare and had to have the daycare shut down and couldn't finish law, right? So, you know, like things like that. And I mean, that wasn't easy for me. I was also working at Tim Hortons and trying to raise 3 kids by myself, you know, trying to get away from the abusive asshole. So, you know, like, life is life. We all have different experiences and things, but I think when you're talking about poor, you know, you need to have that understanding because there's a huge disconnect because when you're talking about all these terms, and I know they're like more school terms or whatever, the isms and that, I still don't know. People call me a left or lib. I don't even know what that means. I don't know. I say I'm 100% full-blooded anarchist because that is what I have learned that resonates with me because I want freedom for everybody, freedom for all of you, freedom for everybody to have the same equal chances here, you know, like we share the earth, everything's energy, we're all connected, we're all spiritual beings, so like we need to, you know, tap into our own inner power and stop looking to like government and all these terms and everybody else to fix things, you know, like go inside and like if you want to learn, you know, or you want to do change or you want to help so people aren't like whatever, like in these poor systems or whatever, then stop looking towards the governments to do it, you know, like get out in the community, like we do free hugs, we do like, you know, we do Op Safe Winter, we go give, you know, have any of you guys ever been out to the streets to like actually give people that are houseless, like, you know, lunch or, you know, I know some of you guys have worked on that stuff, like, I know you, but, you know what I mean, like, have any of you done that, like, you know, what does poor mean to you? Does poor mean you don't have family? Does poor mean you don't have money? Does poor mean you don't have food? You know, like, there's, anyway, I'm sorry. Thank you for speaking what you had to say, so, I love you all, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone burning to speak?
I'll give an example. I just want to share an example of you know, what organization can look like. That other one's been up there for a while. So, for example, one of our contributors is from a region of Mexico, and the poor there are caught between the violence of the state on the one hand and the cartels on the other. In the middle, they have learned to connect healthcare with self-defense. So they have community police is what they call it, and it's basically many of them are indigenous to the area, and they've connected. You know, they recognize that their own security and their own well-being is related to their ability to defend themselves from the state and from the cartels. And this is what they're calling community policing, and it is conjoined there with healthcare. So this is an example of building an autonomous community that is separated from the state and from capitalism. For example, some of the violence that they face comes from Canadian mining companies in the area who work with the state and work with paramilitaries in relation to free the mining companies to do what they want in that area. I was going to show you a short video, but I don't know if I don't think the audio works anyway. But it's a report. It's a report about the centrality of women in that community in the community policing effort. So this is sort of one of the things that I wanted to emphasize. The same thing with Caliacuno in the southern United States, where they're trying to build a project called Cooperation Jackson. And this is trying to combine, I just asked people to think about this passage in particular. Centers for collective survival, defense, self-sufficiency, and social solidarity. You have to be able to grow your own food, you have to be able to defend yourself, and you have to be able to build solidarity with the other people in that region. And this is what Cooperation Jackson is doing. This is what community policing is doing in this part of Mexico. And in fact, the author of that particular chapter was shot and died in Mexico City just before the book was published. And we have a dedication to him in the book. But that just, I mean, that's how real the violence is in that area. And this is what poor people in that area are trying to do to protect themselves and their health. So they sort of connected the two.
I think we're going to have to make this our last question, folks. We have security buggering outside.
I just want to echo for everyone here what Trish had said, and I think it's really important. I also really struggled with what you had to say is Brad. Yeah, really difficult. My partner was leaning over to me and saying, I don't know what he's saying. And we're really involved in a lot of organizing and activism, and I think that maybe one of the things that people could take away here is that I'm going to use the word accessible. Accessibility is important, but then I'm also going to say everyone needs to understand. So I can use the word accessible, or I can say plain language for everyone to understand. And it's really easy to do both. And I understand that people here are academics, but there's also people here who are not academics. I have no formal education, and I still do lots of good work. And there's lots of people here that do good work. And it's not just about the words that you can say. It is really important that people are able to understand there's lots of different people here and you look around.
Yeah, I think you can say that. I also just want to say that I think it's important to not make assumptions about the panelists, like particular family upbringing, background, level of education. And
That's not what I said at all, Ardath. Yeah.
No, not what you said. What follows that, though.
And it's not meant to be specifically an attack, but I'm very interested in what you had to say. And I'm actually going to message you after because I'd like to be able to spend some time to read it, but it was difficult.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'd say, yeah, I mean, and I think maybe coming into a university setting, I use different language that I'd use in a different setting. And given, obviously, there are people here who aren't familiar with sort of that type of discourse, and I think that's fair and that's good, and it's sometimes it's harder to cram as much into 8 minutes when you don't use the shortcut words. But there's problems with shortcut words, you know. Yeah, I think your contribution is useful. Thank you.
It's very interesting though to hear you calling out other systems, but then speaking in a way that's not necessarily understandable for folks.
Yeah, I'm in a university.
Yeah, I think these are comments and questions we can maybe save for another time. I think that I thank everybody. I know folks have lots to say. We've listened to some really